Hello again and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. I am Xarkun, and today I've got a video for you featuring two battles in the Tier 6 and Tier 7 USN cruisers New Orleans and Baltimore respectively. And both of these games are very good games. Neither of them are very high damage games, but they are very high XP games, which I think personally is what you want to look for in these cruisers. Cruisers are support ships. They are about supporting your team, and in these domination mode games that of course means capturing the capture points, defending the capture points, taking out enemy destroyers, and taking out enemy cruisers in that order. Everything else is secondary, at least in my opinion. And you have to focus on the 3 C's of cruiser playing, and maybe there's one K in there. So the 3 C's are concealment, cover, and conservation of your health. The longer a cruiser survives in a battle, the more valuable it becomes. So you want to utilize your concealment and cover to keep yourself alive, and you want to conserve your health while still dealing damage. And the K that's thrown in there is of course kiting. If all else fails, kite away from the enemy. You're much harder to shoot if you are moving away. So with the 3 C's and the 1 K in mind, we are heading around the island in order to put it in between us and all the enemies out in the center spawn of the map. That's basically my move if I spawn on this map. And we are going to get into A and contest it. There is a destroyer inside. We know because we can't see the ship and the cap is being captured. We are now spotted by the destroyer. He should pop up any second. We're going to put on the hydroacoustic search in case he feels inclined to torpedo us. Got a Queen Elizabeth out there approaching. Looks like, according to the course it has set, it will appear on the left side of that island there, so we need to be careful. Destroyer briefly pops up before smoking up. We hit him, reset his capture progress, light a fire, and get 2 incapacitations, so he is going to probably pop his damage control, and he is going to be in a lot of trouble if we can spot him again. Unfortunately, this Queen Elizabeth is faster than I expected. It's coming around the island here. But luckily for me, it does appear to be more interested in shooting at my cruiser teammate out there. So I am turning the other way. I want to put the island in between me and the Queen Elizabeth. And I want to take a couple shots at the Queen Elizabeth. That one gets decent damage, about 6k there, so pretty good. And I believe the Queen Elizabeth is going to take out my cruiser teammate. The destroyer still is in the cap, but we need to move out of the cap in order to capture it. That may seem counterintuitive, but what you don't want to do is die inside of a cap. If it gets too hot, you need to move out of it. You need to reposition yourself, and you need to approach again. So that's what we're doing. We are taking some shots from that Mahan that's smoked up there. He did hit us and penetrate us a little bit with his AP, so maybe we weren't angled enough, or maybe he got some superstructure hits. I don't know. Either way, we're about to not be in danger from the Queen Elizabeth anymore, so we're going to turn back around and head for the cap for the second time. Notice the score here. We are down 2 ships to the enemy's 1. Score of 320 to 235. The enemy team is currently in the process of securing all 3 capture points. We really need one. They secure A there, so it is vital that I get into A, and hopefully my teammates are going to push into at least one other cap. Otherwise, things aren't going to be going too well for us. Now we do get back a kill, and we briefly get ahead on points, but that's not going to last because the enemy does hold 2 capture points, so the rate at which their points goes up is going to be faster than the rate at which our points go up, because they have capture points and we don't. So we are spotted again. That Mahan is certainly out of the smoke screen now. There are his torpedoes. since we have the... Oh, no, we don't have the hydro, but we were able to dodge them anyway. That one almost scratches the paint on our ship. Pretty scary there. And the Mahan is likely in this area to the left of the island here. So we are aware of that. We're going to keep an eye out for him as we are capturing the cap. And that is halting the enemy flow of points from this cap. So now their points are going up at a little bit lower of a rate. We are ahead, but not by much. So we need to secure this point, and then probably we need to take out this Mahan here in order to give our team a little bit more of a lead. So this is not, of course, about being aggressive. Obviously we have this island between us and the biggest threat, which is the Queen Elizabeth. We know the Queen Elizabeth is going to the left of the island again, so we are going to the right, and we should meet this Mahan here. We're slowing down a little bit in case he is able to launch another set of torpedoes, which he might be. I'm not sure. I think the Mahan is able to launch 3 sets of torpedoes. So here he is now. Got the HE loaded. Very close range. First shot nearly takes him out. One more should do it. We are speeding up now, turning away a little bit. He does get an armor-piercing salvo into our side, and another, which isn't ideal, but we do take him out. We are slowing down a little bit, and unfortunately this is a bit of a mistake. He has launched torpedoes. We need to speed up, and we do. We still take 1 torpedo hit. Luckily we are able to repair the damage immediately. And now we are in a little bit of a sticky situation. We've got a Fuso out there. We've got an enemy New Orleans. The enemy New Orleans is approaching our detectability circle on the minimap, so we need to take him out in order to get the chance of going unspotted. First salvo HE, clear the barrels, hit him pretty hard there. Now we're loading the AP because he is giving us some broadside, and this shot is out. Should take him out here. And in fact it does, so he is dead. Unfortunately, the A cap is still secured, or is again secured by the enemy, so we are going to have to turn around and enter it for a 3rd time, but we want to turn around behind this island, not in front of it. That way the Fuso is not able to see us or hit us. We are kiting away here, last resort, the K after the 3 C's, in order to mitigate the amount of potential damage that this Fuso can do to us. We don't want to die. The score is still very close, despite the fact that we are significantly ahead on ships. It is 6 versus 3, so we outnumber them 2-1. But most of the enemy team is concentrated in the Charlie cap. They are taking it, so that's good. And I am left out here essentially alone to deal with this Fuso. Still got that cruiser out to the left border of the map, taking on the Queen Elizabeth. It does take out the Queen Elizabeth, but the Queen Elizabeth takes it out. So it is now 5 versus 2. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, this is an easy win, right? There's no way the enemy team could come back from this. Well, you might think that, but you'd be wrong. So we do secure the Charlie cap. That's good. And for, I think, the 3rd time this game, we are pushing into the Alpha cap to retake it yet again. And we are still ahead, I believe. I can't tell because now the numbers are in the clouds. But we are still ahead on points, but not by much. So we need to secure another cap. The enemy can keep B. Oh, in fact, the enemy has overtaken us on points because they have more cap circles. That is why damage in these cruiser games is your last concern, in my opinion. You want to do damage, but you want to stay alive, and you want to do what you can to contribute to your team's points count. You don't need to die unnecessarily, YOLOing out in front of enemy battleships or cruisers. You don't want to die. You want to conserve your health, and you want to be around to do things like cap this. Now, that was a risky move there. I pulled back on the throttle, did the old slow down trick as the Fuso shot at us, and that mitigated most of the damage. He did get a couple hits, but they were over penetrations right through the bow. So now we need to speed up because this Fuso is heading on a course that will take him behind this island. He will not be able to shoot at us. He does launch a salvo there, pretty dangerous. Most of it hits the island. The rest of it hits us in the bow for another over penetration, and we are sitting at 6,000 hit points. Unfortunately, we're going to sail out of the cap here, but that was necessary in order to keep ourselves alive. So we're going to have to go back into it for, I don't know, is this the 5th time we've entered this alpha cap this game? I think so. So we're going to have to enter it now that the Fuso is set on a course to come around behind this island. We are going to go the opposite way. We are not going to meet him face to face because we will lose that kind of confrontation. The enemy team now, if you'll notice, has pulled it up to 1 kill, all thanks to the Herculean efforts of this Jervis out here. Take a couple pot shots at him. He has managed to kill 2 friendly ships, and now the enemy team is ahead by a score of 512 to 326. This Jervis is a very good player, obviously, very dangerous. I'm going to take some shots at him. He needs to be cleared out. He is going to end up killing, I think, 1 more friendly ship before... Actually, I don't think he's going to go down at all this game. He played a very, very good game. So this is why capture points are necessary. We were ahead 2-1 on ships. Now we are ahead 3-2 on ships, and we are losing because of the enemy team's excellent control of all these capture points. Now we have Alpha. We've had Charlie secured for a while now. One of our ships is pushing into B. This Akatsuki is going after this Jervis. Not a good move for him. The Jervis takes him out. It is now 2 versus 2. So we need to get into this Bravo cap, try to go kill that Jervis and possibly take Bravo. We need to avoid this Fuso. Luckily, since we are faster than him, we've been able to keep this island between him and us, and he has not been able to shoot at us all this time. It's probably very frustrating for battleship players. When they go around islands like that, I think they drastically overestimate the speed of their ship. Cruiser's a lot faster. It will keep the island between you and itself if it can, like I'm doing here. Now we are spotted by the Jervis. Once this Fuso clears the island, he is going to be able to shoot at us. We've got a friendly battleship approaching the Bravo cap from the Charlie cap, which is a scary proposition. That Jervis has already proven that he can take out a significant number of the enemy team. He's got 3 kills at least that we know of. He might be on his way to a Kraken Unleashed. I don't know. I have to look at the score here. Now we're only sitting at 46,000 damage, which is not a lot. It's more than our HP, so we've done okay. And we are going to get a little bit more damage there on that Fuso and reset his capture progress right as he enters Alpha. We are entering Bravo now, so we are halting the flow of points from Bravo, which is good. That's the only cap the enemy controls, and we're making sure that this Fuso can't take Alpha. Now he is shooting at us. He's reduced us to about 1,800 hit points. Not good. The score is 437 to 596, and there is just a little bit more over a minute to go. So this one is going to come right down to the wire. The only question is, are we going to fumble it, or are we going to be able to win? We probably are not going to be able to take out that Fuso, which we need to do if we want to win. That'll be a 100-point swing in our favor. So we need to rely on our friendly battleship, unfortunately, to take out the Fuso. He does score a hit on the Fuso, reduces him to almost no health. One more salvo, one more well-placed salvo from the friendly battleship should do it. But there are just over 30 seconds left. The enemy is still ahead by a little bit less than 100 points. If that Fuso is killed, we may be able to win. I'm going to slow down because I want to make sure Bravo is secured. I believe the friendly battleship has a salvo incoming toward the Fuso. Indeed, he finishes off the Fuso with 15 seconds left. 513 to 536. 2 seconds left on the cap here. We secure the cap. 525 to 536. 4 seconds left. And are we going to overtake them? Yes. At the very last second, we overtake them and we win by 4 points. So, there you go. That is the importance of a cruiser. Positioning, concealment, etc. Conserving your health. Only 49,000 damage done, but 2,800 base XP. So, pretty good game. Alright, next game. Baltimore on the map north. Again, domination mode. And this one is going to be a good demonstration of positioning and support. Now, I've heard people say the Baltimore is a difficult Tier 7 cruiser to play because it is a support ship with its radar. And you need to be in a division in order to use it to its maximum effectiveness, which, yeah, I suppose. But if you're aware of what your teammates are doing, and you're aware of the position of the enemy team, that is, you have intelligence, you know where they are, you can guess where they're heading, then you will be able to support your teammates. So we're not going to go into Bravo here initially. We don't want to be in open water spotted by the enemy team. Instead, we are going to head toward Alpha. Now, you could have made the case that I should have headed toward Charlie because I was closer there, but you can see the results for yourself after this battle ends. We've got a push heading toward Alpha, and we are going to put this island in between us and the enemy spawns, so we should remain concealed as we make our approach, and that is important. Now, the Baltimore is a very good cruiser. It's got devastating AP, can absolutely wreck other cruisers. It can get citadel hits on enemy battleships at ranges that would surprise you. So it is quite the effective ship in terms of fire support. The only thing that might hurt it a little bit is its slow reload. And of course, it is able to spot enemy destroyers, and now the enemy Royal Navy cruisers inside smoke screens with its radar. And you are going to see that in action soon. So I am considering taking a shot at that hipper over there, but I decide not to, and I decide to go for the Jean Bart. Immediately I am targeted by all of the enemy ships. Well, both of the enemy ships there. They want to kill me because they think I'm an easier kill, and they are all going to shoot at me now, so I'm kiting away. I do get hit once, twice, but it's minimal damage. It's HE that those cruisers are firing at me, and once I am sufficiently far enough away from them, I will be out of their consciousness and I will remain unspotted. I think a stealth build on cruisers, concealment build, is very good, especially for these USN cruisers, the New Orleans and Baltimore. I run Norm Scott on them as my commander, and I have Gunichi Mikawa and Andre Lemonnier as inspirations. Mikawa for the concealment, and Lemonnier for the reduced time it takes for detectability to go down to normal after firing the guns. Very potent stealth combination, and of course I'm using the concealment mod on the Baltimore. So, and I believe the New Orleans. So, concealment here, very good for that. And positioning, again. We've got this island between us and the majority of the enemy. This friendly Jean Bart is pushing into A. He is going to be overtaken by a little torpedo sortie of cruisers out here. We're about to have, I believe, an enemy Atago and an enemy Fiji approach from behind the island here and attempt to torpedo this guy. So we are moving into position to support him. We don't want him to be taken out. We want to be able to even the odds here. So there's the Fiji. I'm about to take a shot at him when I notice the Atago. He's coming around, so instead I send my salvo his way. Do hit him there for a decent armor-piercing salvo. Rear gun on target, shots out, and that one is a Citadel, which also deals a good amount of damage. Follow-up shot deals more damage. Now we just need to take him out. Torpedoes are incoming from the Fiji, looks like at the Jean Bart, and I don't think he's going to be able to avoid them. One of us is going to have to take out the Otago, who is obviously going on a torp run. The Jean Bart does it. That leaves me with the Fiji. Hit him, reset his capture progress on Alpha there, and he is down to almost no health very quickly. He's smoking up, so in order to make sure we can still see him, I'm going to pop the radar. Might not have been necessary, but then we do finish off the Fiji, saving the Jean Bart from imminent demise, but he's still got an enemy Jean Bart and another enemy battleship approaching him. There's not a whole lot I can do to help him out with that situation. If I were to go around the island and engage those two battleships directly, I would be killed. But I do have an opportunity to take out this Hipper, so that's what I'm going to do. First shot sent his way. Hits him for 12k in a Citadel. Very good. We've got a friendly battleship also firing at him, so we do have support. I thought initially he was reversing, but he was not. Instead, he was going forward, so I'm going to have to readjust my aim here. He's shooting HE at me. It's going to do minimal damage, and the AP that I'm shooting at him is doing significantly more damage. Now he has taken a hit from the friendly battleship there, and this next hit finishes him off, bringing me up to, what is it, 2 kills. Alright, so now we've got a Jean Bart here, and we need to be very careful with how we take this corner. We're going to want to turn, angle away from the Jean Bart, and engage in kiting, but this is a high-risk move, not something I would recommend making. We notice the island there, so we think we're going to be able to turn enough to avoid it, but this is where we make a big, colossal mistake. And lucky for us, we do have support from the friendly Tirpitz over there. The Jean Bart sees us. Of course he is aiming at us because we are a cruiser. We're going to be easier for him to kill than the Tirpitz. And he's going to shoot at us now, just as we, of course, run aground. Luckily, we were presenting a narrow target. Only one shell hits us. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Could have been much worse. He could have probably citadeled us through the back of the ship, but he didn't. He's still aiming at us though, so we're going to reverse, and we need to turn to get away from this island so that we can escape him. Luckily, the friendly, I think it's a Tirpitz, is engaging the Jean Bart, and he is actually distracting the Jean Bart enough that Jean Bart is no longer aiming at us. Torps incoming from the friendly Tirpitz at the Jean Bart. They hit him and take him out, which saves our ass there and prevents us from dying due to our mistake. So we thank our teammate for his excellent support. And now that just leaves 3 enemy ships. We're at 74,000 damage, 2 kills. Got a Mogami there, and we are going to be able to probably take him out. HE is loaded. Shots are out. We are spotted again, but we can get more guns on target for the Mogami than he can get on us. We've got 6 guns on him. He's got 4 guns at that angle on us. His shots miss, ours don't. Our next salvo also hits him and reduces him to very low health. Unfortunately, he drops spot. There is somebody capping Bravo. Could be the destroyer, could be the other enemy cruiser. Not sure. So we're going to be aware of that as we approach the Bravo cap. And we're waiting to see if we can get that Mogami spotted. And it is the destroyer, the enemy Mas. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to hit him, but we're going to take the shot anyway. You never know. And we've got the hydroacoustic search on, so we are aware of his torpedoes coming towards us now. And I think we're going to be able to avoid them. We've slowed down quite a bit. Nope, actually we're going to take one on the nose. That's okay though, we take the enemy Mogami out for our third kill. And now we're going to be able to finish off this Moss here. So there we go. He's dead. 4 kills. Gotta avoid the Mogami's torpedoes. And we are going to enter the Bravo Cap and take it. So there you go. Support play from the Baltimore solo. Good positioning apart from the potentially fatal mistake that I made taking that corner and squaring off against the Jean Bart, but we came out of it okay thanks to the great support we received from the friendly Tirpitz. And we are in a position to win this game quite easily. Only 1 cruiser is left, and not a whole lot happens between now and then, so probably going to skip ahead here. But yeah, so a lot of people say high-tier cruisers are difficult to play. They are. But the point is, always remember the 3 C's. Concealment, cover, conservation. You want to conserve your health. You want to be alive for the entire game. You're going to maximize your effectiveness if you are. You want to remain concealed until you can assess the risk and take lower risk shots at enemy ships. Meaning, you fire at somebody. Ideally, you don't want them to be able to fire back at you, but if they can, you want to make sure that only 1 enemy ship, ideally, can fire back at you. If more than 1 can, you want to kite away. And that's how you can be successful with cruisers. Your first priority needs to be conserving your health, staying concealed, staying behind cover, and you want to be able to deal damage while you're doing that. If you can, then you're going to have good games. And good games do not need to be high damage games. You can get high damage games in cruisers, that's fine. This is not an extremely high damage game. I think by the end of it we are going to have doubled our hit points, so that I would regard as a decent game. But because we have captured a capture point, and because we have defended a capture point and acquired some defender ribbons, this is going to be a very, very high XP game, and also a high kill game. Although 3 out of 5 of our kills here are going to sort of be kill stealing. We aren't going to have taken off the health on those ships. We're just going to have finished them off, but that's okay. We are going to end up with a Kraken, and we are going to end up with high XP. So the point of these videos is to show you that good high-level cruiser play can be done, and that it is in fact not about damage. Again, I'd take a high XP game over a high damage game any day, especially if you are grinding the Royal Navy line. Don't worry about damage as your primary focus. Worry about getting points for your team, because that is how you are going to get the most XP. That is how you are going to be able to grind the cruiser lines more quickly, or quicker, by getting good XP. Not necessarily by getting high damage. You are a support ship, and your primary goal on these domination mode games is the objectives, not necessarily killing the enemy ships, but securing the objectives. And that was demonstrated for you very eloquently in the first game. Now we've got the enemy Baltimore. He's heading behind this island. We can assume that he's going to come out and get into the sea cap here in the gap between the 2 islands. So we're going to have our guns pointed in that direction, anticipating his appearance. Hopefully we are going to be able to finish him off for the Kraken Unleashed medal. Let's see here. Skip ahead. Alright, so the enemy Baltimore has made his appearance. We are going to be able to hit him if our aim is true. And yep, we take him out. Kraken Unleashed. Alright, there you go. You're going to notice that this is a pretty high XP game, just like the last one. Nearly 3,000 base XP. Good amount of silver earned. Only 80,000 damage done. That's double our hit points, so that's decent. And our XP shows it is very, Very good. So, there you go. Hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Got a lot of World of Warships Legends content coming all the time. Thanks. Bye.